97% of consumers go online and find local businesses or services. 97%. So right there, we already know that you have to be online. And then I'm going to go into some other statistics here because it's super important, and it really makes that tie-in for everyone, I think. 70 to 80% of people research a company online before ever visiting them or buying from them. So when we hear that, we have to understand that we have to have an online presence. So hopefully everyone watching this or listening to this has at minimum a website and a Facebook business page. Notice I said both, a Facebook business page and a website. You can have every other platform you want. I don't care. The more, the merrier. But remember, you still have to manage all that. Or somebody on your team is going to have to manage that. But let's just stick to those first two, website and business page. Those two are important because typically when you Google search, when you do a Google search for yourself or somebody's Googling you, typically one of two things will pop up on the first page for you: your website and or your Facebook business page. When people click, because they're doing that research before they reach out, they're going to click and they're going to check you out. If they go to your website, they're going to want to see your social. If they go to your social, they're going to want to also see your website. So you got to make sure that you have those in line there. And that's why I say the business page is so important. Again, you don't have to love Facebook. And I know that there's so much about, organic reach is dead and all these things. But again, we're not playing on that level. We're going to that next level, which is thinking bigger, thinking outside that box. And we're really building that authority like we talked about earlier. So we have to understand that. And then going back to the stats here, 80% of social media users would rather watch a live video than read a brand's blog post. Now that doesn't mean don't write your blog posts. That's part of your marketing, right? But that means that you need to start incorporating live video. And there's a ton of ways you can do that. Of course, that's part of that strategy we were talking about. And that's what I teach my clients, is really how to streamline that, because it's not one or the other. It's being able to utilize both of those avenues for your marketing. Another thing about video is that on average, and this percentage is probably much higher now because of the pandemic, video gets 21.2% more interactions compared to an image. So there's so many of us, right? How many? You can raise your hand on this one, drop an emoji, but how many of us are always constantly trying to get the right image with the right caption, and we're stressed out, or our team's stressed out for scheduling and posting all the time to try to keep up with the Joneses here on social, that we're not even thinking about video. We're not even thinking about this personal moment that we can have with our audience, that our audience can have with us. I'm not saying don't do those pictures and captions. Again, it's combining these different things underneath that marketing plan of yours, under that strategy, and really making sure that you show up in a new way. My whole thing is helping you market differently. And by doing so, you have to be able to put yourself out there. And trust me, I know it's hard. I was there. It is not easy, but when you have the right guide and the right person by your side, it's a game changer. And it's not just for your business, but it's also for your personal growth. Because doing this live streaming for the past 5 years has grown me exponentially for business and my personal growth. Because before I started my business, I would not be doing this, especially not as often as I do it as well. When you're watching this and when you're thinking about, the perfection of being on camera and the production and everything, listen, we remove all of that. We take that pressure off. It doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that much of a struggle. It doesn't have to stress you out. And I will tell you, if I can do this stuff, you certainly can. And like I said, when I started, I didn't have anybody. I had to figure all this out on my own. And now we are in a world where now you have somebody, right, who's gone through it. And in a few minutes, we'll bring out the whiteboard and do a little.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. And you know, what's cool too, Ed, for you is like you have the A to Z concept, but you go A to B,
yes,
B to C, C to D. And you're one of the best coaches who I've seen do this process because it's not ethereal. It's actually very practical with the support that's required to get people over the finish line. And I mean, that's why we're on this live today, is because you have the integrity to lead people through a process they can complete that is absolutely going to transform a very significant part of their business if they spend time online, which again, timeliness of this is that everybody has to. The competition is going way up at this point because there's so many people now consuming content online.
That's why you need a plan. That's why I always say go live with a plan, because there's a way and a method to be able to dominate all of the platforms without stressing yourself out.